In the words of great scientist Niels Bohr, an expert is someone who has done all the possible mistakes in a very narrow field. In my words, mistakes is in itself a very broad field and could have experts at committing it. Anybody in this crowd? Experts at committing mistakes? Good, I have some company. I am certainly one, thanks to my extraordinary ability to screw up things, even the simple-most ones. But, excuse me, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, that was me, and my most memorable speech number 4, very appropriately titled as Mistakes. That disaster happened on 30th of July 2011. Very memorable, indeed. Ironically, because I forgot my speech and was stuck midway. As to why I forgot my speech, that would in itself make a subject matter for a whole different speech. So for now, just put that aside. I want to share with you what I learned that day. Here is my story for you folks, my story of mistakes. Think about it. Isn't that the worst nightmare for an aspiring speaker, to forget the speech midway? And when I was facing that situation, I was thinking, getting to that stage is in itself the biggest achievement. I mean, it took convincing my reluctant, hesitant self with the persuasive skills of my mentor to get me signed up for a speaker role. And once I signed up for the speaker role, then I think about all the different topics in the world, and at the last moment change the topic, get my script ready, prepare my delivery, and then at the last moment, who would not hate to mess up things like that? At that moment when I forgot my speech, I was feeling all the butterflies in the locality has taken refuge in my belly. Knees trembling, words rumbling, face wry, my throat ran dry, my heart thumping, sweat rolling down my cheek. At 7 minutes, I was feeling like 7 long hours. I wished it was over soon, desperately waiting. But I did not quit. I decided I'm going to complete this speech. But on the process, I ended up dismantling brick by brick all the confidence that I have mustered and gathered through 3 months of Toastmastership until then as a speaker. By the time I finished my speech and walked back to my seat, my opinion of that speech? A tragedy, a disaster, a fiasco. Actually, I ran out of adjectives to describe and capture effectively that moment, how I felt. Don't jump to conclusions yet, fellow Toastmasters. That's only part of the story. 3 things that happened that day struck me deeply, and I want to share that with you. First, I was able to finish my speech without quitting only because I had in my audience those sincere, inspiring, encouraging, and motivating faces, nodding sincerely for every statement that I made, reassuring me that, Suresh, it's okay to falter, it's okay to commit mistakes. The second thing, by the time I finished my speech and walked back to my seat, I was extended a longer than usual applause, indicating that this is part of the learning, part of becoming an effective speaker. And last but not least, walked up to the stage, that strict, stern-faced head of the Department of Psychology in my university, Dr. William Smythe. He was my evaluator that day. He surprised me. He said, Suresh, you have a natural ability to use short and sweet sentences to convey your message across. He commended my ability to use quotes to reinforce my messages across. And also the areas of improvement, suggestions that would make my speech better. To sum it up, in those 3 minutes of evaluation, he just reconstructed all the confidence that I managed to shatter in that 7 minutes disaster. that day became most memorable for me. Not because of the embarrassment of forgetting, but because of the endorsement that Toastmaster gave me as a speaker. I learned my lesson for life that day. Greatest glory is not in never falling at all, but rather it is in rising every time when we fall. Guess what? I signed up for a speech 2 weeks later, Mr. Toastmaster.
Excellent speech from Toastmaster Suresh. Now we have